right here is the era that got Florida rappers lit and locked up. Nah, I know y'all see what been happening with the whole Florida wave, bro. Y'all name y'all favorite rapper from Florida who locked up right now. You feel me? We got a handful of rappers from Florida that just got locked up out of nowhere. And just looking at the whole Florida scenery, it's always that one breakout artist that be about to pop from Florida, and then they get their ass locked up out of nowhere, bro. And it just be on some crazy type time. Folks telling real awkward situations or whatever, bro. It just be off the wall with me, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, my boy Hot Boy, he damn near broke the barrier. You feel me? Screw me. My boy broke the barrier and he just started snapping. He just made it bigger. I'm talking about after Kodak, of course. I'm talking about Central Florida. You feel me? It's like Central Florida it became very difficult to blow out of there until it started being a lot of people from Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa. Where that boy Boston Richie from? Where he from? Tudorville. He started doing his shit. They started going crazy. It's just difficult as hell to blow up from Florida. But let's watch this video real quick. The era that got all these boys locked up.
Oh, I love it when I'm next to you. Riding through the 772.
Oh, that boy used to be singing.
Where I come from, it ain't safe to believe. Where I come from, they ain't chasing a dream.
From the outside looking in.
Oh yeah, Tallahassee too.
Yeah. Might be the most hated in Florida right now.
Yeah. It's a jungle for real. You know what I'm saying? Every day a gamble. You know what I'm saying? You take a chance. You know what I'm saying? Walk out that door. You could be in the house taking a chance. Going to the bathroom, you taking a chance. Believe that.
Going to the bathroom, you taking a chance. Well, somebody gonna take your ass? Going to the bathroom? You going too far. Talking about going to the bathroom, you take it. Like, bro, you... Come on, bro. The bathroom, bro. Really, bro? You taking a chance going to the bathroom, depending on who you live with. That's a scary sight.
Going to the bathroom, you taking a chance. Believe that.
4 young men were in this car when they were shot. Police say 3 of them have died. The vehicle pulled up to their Chevy sedan, opened fire, then took off.
Now at 5:37, 2 men are in jail this morning, including an up-and-coming Florida rapper.
What is going on in Orlando? The Pooties, the Glock 9s, you did have records with them before you went to jail. Now it's like the fans don't see y'all together. They don't see y'all doing music together.
Well, I guess at one point you had a situation with Glock 9.
Who that is?
Orange County deputies believe a feud between these 2 local rappers.
Bruh, y'all see this nigga face when he said who that is? Bruh, ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way he said it with that shit. Free my boy Hot, man.
Together, they don't see y'all doing music together.
Well, I guess...
Look at his face. Look how serious he is.
I guess at one point you had a situation with Glock 9.
Who that is?
Orange County deputies believe a feud between these 2 local rappers and their alleged ties to the 438 and AFNF is behind that shooting and other violence spanning between Orange and Osceola counties.
Controversial rap album cover is making its way around social media. The cover shows pictures of men who have been murdered in Jacksonville. Local rapper Queso posted the picture to Instagram. It's since been taken down.
They on this bitch having the time of their life. Talking about they smoking one of their ops. The time of their life.
Once the dead get involved, it's already too far. So anything out there is no more limit to it. You get what I'm saying? No more limit.
The past 5 years in Florida have arguably been some of the craziest times in rap history. Breakout artists like YNW Melly and Rod Wave have skyrocketed up into mainstream success, and wars in cities like Jacksonville and Orlando have fueled the music and found themselves getting national attention. In a short period of time, the state has produced countless successful rappers, but also an unusually high amount of rappers who have found themselves back in jail fighting big cases. The whole time, the ever-changing situation has kept fans' attention glued to the state. So in this video, we'll take a look at the period in Florida rap from 2018 to 2023. This is part 2 of the history of Florida rap, so if you haven't seen part 1, go check it out first. There will be a link in the description. The last video ended in 2018 with the passing of X and the start of the end of SoundCloud rap. The genre was losing the hold that it had on Florida for the previous couple of years, but it wasn't completely over. An artist named
y'all remember that little wave? Like, bro, literally everybody from Florida was blowing up off of SoundCloud. Am I tripping? Y'all seen how the Florida rappers was blowing up, bro? Back to back off of straight SoundCloud. Who that was? That was X. This dude, Slump God, Lil Pump. Who the hell we was talking about in the first place?
Had been quietly grinding since 2016, and in 2018 he started to take off with the big song called Gosha that he dropped in August.
Nigga, who
As the years went on, he would continue to be one of the artists carrying the torch for cloud rap. Despite the rise of Snot, 2018 marked a clear shift in the types of artists who started blowing out of Florida. The era of rappers blowing up
Melly,
off fun music they were making at home on their
this
laptop.
dude.
2 hours north of Orlando, Jacksonville was also starting to see his local rap scene gaining attention as well. Young and Ace had begun rapping seriously in 2017, and by early 2018 his music was starting to get some attention. Worldstar was posting his videos regularly, and it appeared that he was next up. Then, in August, his world was flipped upside down. One night, he was out celebrating his brother's birthday with 2 close friends, but unknown to them, ops were lurking. When Ace and his brothers left and got in the car, they were followed, and at the first red light, the ops everybody in the car was hit. Ace ended up taking 8 shots and still miraculously surviving, but everybody else in the car died. To make matters worse, Ace was found with a gun on him, so as soon as he got out the hospital, they took him straight to jail for a month. Outsiders were shocked, but people in the city knew that beef had been brewing. One of the main people Ace had beef with was a rapper called Fulio. Fulio was an early Jacksonville music pioneer and had songs buzzing around the city as early as 2015. Through the years, he had continued to grind and put out music, seeing a little success but never getting the big break he was looking for. Internet detectives believe that Fulio's problems with Young and Ace started in 2017 with the death of Fulio's cousin at the hands of one of Ace's friends. They believe this was the beginning of the war between the 2 rival groups, one called ATK, who Young and Ace was associated with, and the other called KTA, who Fulio was associated with. So the shooting of Ace, his brother, and homies was believed to be a part of this ongoing beef. And to people in the city, the situation wasn't that unexpected. But to outsiders, it was shocking, and the story got out everywhere. People who had never heard of Ace before ended up hearing the story about a rapper who was shot 8 times and lost a brother and 2 friends, and went to check out his music. It was a horrible situation for Ace to live through, but ended up helping his career out a lot. In August, he dropped a project called Life of Betrayal, which did well, and on this mixtape was a song called Pain, where Ace discussed the situation he had been through, and it ended up taking off, gaining millions of views. Ace continued dropping and watching his numbers grow throughout the rest of the year. Another Jacksonville artist with a very similar story to Ace called Lil Papa also took off around the same time.
God damn.
Papa had been rapping for years, but in 2018 he experienced a similar situation to Ace, where he was in a car with friends that was shot up and he was hit. He only ended up losing one homie, but the situation inspired him to drop a song called Purple Hearts that ended up taking off, gaining millions.
He said he only ended up losing one homie, like he was supposed to lose multiple homies. Come on, man. That crazy. Y'all can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? Yo, you tripping. My mic work. Who else can't hear me?
Millions of views and making Papa the second most well-known Jacksonville artist outside of Ace. Over on the other side of Florida, Rod Wave was also beginning to gain some attention. Rod Wave was an artist from St. Petersburg who had started his career in 2016. He grinded for
Damn, boy, you look kind of slim right here, right? Boy, you like you been eating broccoli and stuff like that, asparagus. Like healthy stuff, brother. What happened? Boy got some money and went straight to Wingstop.
2 years straight dropping consistently, and by 2018 his music was starting to take off and he was making a name for himself and doing numbers. Rod had a big year, but the most watched Florida artist in 2018 was Melly. YNW Melly started taking his career seriously when he came home from jail in 2017. He got to work dropping some of his best songs like 772 Love and Murder on My Mind. By 2018, Melly started to see things take off. He had songs like Blue Balenciagas and Butter Pecan going crazy, and even though it had already been out, this was when Murder on My Mind really started going viral, racking up millions of views. He capitalized on this motion and dropped his debut album I Am You in August. Melly was blowing up and had people like Ye reaching out to him to make music, so it appeared that he was going to be the next star out of Florida. He started 2019 strong, dropping his second project We All Shine in January, hitting 27 on the Billboard Top 100. Then on February 13th, he was arrested and charged with 2 bodies. And these weren't just 2 random people. These were the 2 people he had called his best friends. Back in 2018, Melly's friends Stack Chaser and Juvie had lost their lives to what was believed to be a drive-by. However, in February, when Melly was arrested, the cops revealed that they believed Melly had been the one to pull the trigger on them, and his friend Borland had helped him fake a drive-by. Catching a regular body would generate a crazy amount of attention for a rapper, but the YNW Melly situation was insane, and basically every media outlet covered it. And on top of this, the fact that his biggest song was called Murder on My Mind, and then he got booked for 2, caused his music to go crazy. Melly was officially mainstream, getting millions of views daily, but he was sitting in a cell facing a case that wasn't looking very good for him. The next 2 most viral rappers in Florida this year
Melly,
was a duo from Miami called the City Girls. The
Screw
2
me.
artists had gotten a big look in 2018 when they were featured on Drake's hit single In My Feelings. Then in November, they dropped a song called Act Up.
Free mail,
It didn't blow up immediately, but around January of 2019, it started to take off and go viral, and it ended up becoming a big part of the infamous Hot Girl Summer. The situation was slightly strange though, because one half of the duo was locked up during the entire rise for credit card fraud and wouldn't get out until the next year. Up in Jacksonville, Ace was going crazy. He teamed up with JayDaYoungan on a collab album called Can't Speak on It, and the hit single Ops took off, doing 5 million views in a month on YouTube.
Hey, speaking of JayDaYoungan, do y'all want to see me take a look at his tape? I heard he just dropped the tape, y'all. If we look at the tape, I'm finna redo this live and change the title. And we gotta show my boy some love, man. No kizzy. Let me know if y'all want me to do that.
He followed this up with a solo album called Step Harder, which is also very successful.
Hold up, bro. Who the hell said you think he set his friends up? Get off that crazy stuff, man. Free Melly. She Trump. She Trump,
Successful,
y'all.
with the title track blowing up and becoming one of his biggest songs ever. Around summer, the ATK KTA beef really started spilling over into the music.
Sculpting on my stomach, so a little back.
In January, Fulio had taken a big loss when he lost a friend he referred to as his little brother named Bibby. Fulio's ops would constantly diss Bibby and smoke him relentlessly. The main op doing this was Queso. Queso was Ace's right-hand man and alleged shooter. He had started rapping in July, dropping a song with JayDaYoungan, and from the beginning he was extremely disrespectful and dissed Bibby and 3 of Fulio's other dead homies on his first song ever. Fulio responded with the freestyle on the Crazy Story beat, dissing several of Queso's dead homies. Then in September, Queso came back with 2 even more disrespectful songs called Dead Ops and Queso Bitch. Fulio responded with his own song called Dead Ops and another song called Address It. Alongside Fulio, another KTA rapper called YNR Mookie was also starting to gain some attention with songs like Dead Ops and 23K, but he got locked up on a weapons charge before he could take off. In the same city, but on a completely different wavelength, YK Osiris had busted onto the scene with his hit single Worth It, which had blown up into a commercial hit. Jacksonville was making a lot of noise in
Bro, YK moves so different now. Like, I don't know what to say about YK. Boy, he move extremely different now. When I see fam, I just be confused. He was just crying because Drake don't mess with him like that. My man was upset, bro. That shit crazy. You can donate, bro. You gotta click the link. You gotta click the donate link. Free D Rose and Gutter Mason. Who the hell? D Rose is a fucking killer.
2019, but over in St. Petersburg, Rod Wave was outshining everybody else in the state. In May, he dropped Hard on Ice. The song would be the biggest hit of his career, but it didn't take off immediately. He dropped an album called Pt.2 in June, which also did well. Then he dropped a remix to Hard on Ice in September, and a big song with Kevin
My
Gates
nigga,
called
wasn't
Cuban
you
Links
already
in
talking
early
about
October.
Rod Wave?
By late October, Hard on Ice started to blow up. Rod Wave dropped Ghetto Gospel on November 2nd, and the whole time Hard on Ice was continuing to go crazy viral. It gained over 25 million views in a matter of weeks. In the span of a month, Rod Wave went from buzzing with big songs over 1 million, but still not widely known, to the biggest rapper in Florida, even surpassing Kodak and Melly in terms of searches. In 2020, Rod Wave remained the biggest artist in Florida, and everything he dropped was hitting 1 million on YouTube easily.
I ain't gonna lie, Rod Wave is that for real. No cap. If you ain't saying Rod Wave is one of the rawest, you done lost your damn mind. You tripping.
He dropped an
Real
album
talk.
called Pray for Love containing the hit single Rags to Riches, which went even crazier after Lil Baby got on the remix. Over in Orlando, a new face was emerging. Hot Boy had been rapping as early as 2016 before Glock 9 or Pootie ever started, and in the beginning he was cool with both of them. But he had been caught breaking into houses and had been stuck in the juvenile program while they were blowing up in early 2018. By the time he got out in late 2018, they were already beefing, and he kept his distance, stayed to himself, and put out music trying to make up for lost time. He didn't see much progress for a while,
But
by late 2019, people were starting to catch on to his music. Going into 2020, he dropped a song called Go Talk, and it blew up, doing over 1 million views, adding to Hot Boy's growing wave. Then, in April, he dropped a song called Don't Need Time, and this was his breakout hit. After it dropped, his career took off at a crazy rate, and he became one of the littest artists in Florida. The song was unfortunately connected to a crazy backstory. It was a tribute to Hot Boy's homie who had recently been killed, and the person responsible was somebody in Glock 9's camp. This would lead to a bloody war through the rest of the year between Hot Boy's crew 438 and Glock 9's homies AF and F. So while Hot Boy was taking off doing songs with people like Polo G and Lil Baby, 438 and AF and F were trading bodies, hitting innocent civilians, having shootouts in mall parking lots, and wreaking havoc through Orlando. Another artist who also took off from Orlando.
Why he make it sound so dangerous and crazy like that, bro? Just vibe, bro. You tripping, bro. Just vibe, whoa. What's up with you, man?
Orlando in 2020 was Cuttin Reese. Cuttin Reese also had problems with Glock 9, and Glock had allegedly shot up his house, which made Reese respond with a song called No Statements, addressing the situation and taking shots at Glock and one of his fallen homies. The song took off, and he was even able to get Dirk on the remix, making it even bigger. He wouldn't see too much success after this, but he at least became one of the biggest artists in Orlando. On a completely different wavelength, an artist called Cochites from Palm Beach, Florida, took off, dropping a song called Hatchback, gaining millions of views and drawing a lot of Playboi Carti comparisons. And he would go on to become one of the leaders of the vibey, melodic, SoundCloud-influenced side of rap. Meanwhile, in Jacksonville, the battle between KTA and ATK continued to rage on. A new artist called J.Breezy popped up, and he began to make some noise, dropping songs like Shoot It Out and Tweak Shit. He had beef with Julio and KTA and dissed them often. Queso continued to drop and was starting to gain a buzz. He wasn't dissing nearly as much as in the beginning, but he still mentioned Bibby regularly. In August, he dropped a song called Been Dead that really took off, and it seemed like he had a chance to blow up. But in September, he was arrested and charged for a body, ending his rap plans. Despite the disses from Queso and J.Dot through mid-2020, Foolio was chilling on the disrespect and focusing on more commercial music. But towards the end of the year, things started to heat up again and some new faces emerged. Spot 'Em Got 'Em was a KTA rapper and good friend of Foolio, and in April, he had dropped a song called Beatbox. The song didn't blow up immediately, but around late 2020, it started to go up. Around this same time, Young and Ace clicked up with two Jacksonville rappers called Spin and Benz and Wappa with the Chopper. They had mutual friends and ops, so after Ace met them playing the game, they became cool. Spins and Wap were extremely disrespectful and had been dissing Foolio, KTA, and their dead members for most of 2020, but they weren't really getting views like that. After they met Ace, they continued dissing and started getting more attention. In late 2020, Foolio began to start back dissing again, beginning in December with the song called Double That. In 2021, things would elevate to the extreme.
What?
Foolio started the year off
Ain't
with
in a
an
word.
extremely disrespectful Back in Blood freestyle. Then, 2 months later, Spins, Ace, Wap, and Fast Money Goon teamed up to drop one of the most iconic diss tracks in history when they dropped Who I Smoke in March. They dissed a total of 8 dead ops, made incriminating statements about events that had already happened, and even made smoking 3 of the names mentioned into the chorus of the song. The song featured a sample from Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles Away, and they shot the video in a nice looking golf course. So between the sample, video location, and extremely disrespectful lyrics, it gave the feel of a when the song doesn't match the video parody.
I swear.
This allowed it to go
At
mega
all.
viral. It did millions of views in the first couple of days and continued to go crazy for weeks. The song was everywhere, and Foolio was not too happy about this. 3 days after it released, he dropped his first response, which was a freestyle on the beatbox beat, where he set the record for the most dead ops dissed in the fewest amount of bars, dissing about 10 people in his first 4 bars. And he shot the entire video in his ops hoods. The song got attention, but Foolio wasn't satisfied, so he went on to make another song, and this time he hopped on Fantasia's I See You to diss even more deceased ATK members. And
Look at y'all, look. He got a whole classroom project right there. Look at that. He out his body. He ain't even do work in school, but he want to make a whole classroom project. Look how neat, bruh. Fam, you went and got them folks to I know the person that was printing it that was like, the hell you want us to print this for? The news channel? I know he said some dumb shit like, that's my cousins. Yeah, they're my cousins right there. You feel me? Whole time you took it to go disrespect them people. Tripping.
he shot one of the most disrespectful music videos in history. He had a poster made of Young and Ace's brother and homies he lost back in 2018. Then he went to a graveyard.
Look how he just laying on it too, like it's a beautiful day. Like this just wonderful vibes. Fam, you're a little bit too hot out here, fam. You need milk. Mandatory, immediately, extravagantly fast, bro. Tripping.
To mock him and pretend to grieve for them. The song caught everybody's attention and almost went as viral as Who I Smoke. Foolio had been rapping for around 6 or 7 years up to that point, but this was the first time the majority of the public was discovering who he was. People had been tapped in with the situation brewing in Jacksonville, reporting on it since 2020, but after Who I Smoke and When I See You, there was a huge demand for these types of videos, and the biggest channels in the niche began covering it. In May, Publish X, Trap Lord Ross, Trap Geek, and Hip Hop Daily all made videos about the scene, broadcasting the situation to millions of more people and adding to the growing number of eyes on the city. Everybody was locked into what was going on in Jacksonville, but the FBI was locked into what was going on in Orlando. And in June of 2021, Glock 9, Hot Boy, and their respective crews, AFNF and 438, a total of 34 members, were charged in one of the largest RICO cases in Florida history. The violence and destruction that had started in 2020 had continued to ramp up to the point that the FBI had to step in. During this time, Glock 9 had been...
I ain't gonna lie, they need to free all them boys, man. Free everybody. Just free them. Please, just free them folks, man. Let them folks come home. They ain't do nothing for real. Them good people, bro. Free them people.
Been in and out of jail, dropping music here and there, but fading from relevance. On the other hand, Hot Boy had been emerging as an artist and really looking like a potential mainstream star. He had dropped big songs like Pt.2, I Really, and Nobody Special, collaborating with some of the biggest artists out like Polo G, Moneybagg Yo, and Future. But in June, he found himself wanted for various RICO crimes. But Hot Boy wasn't ready to go yet, and he chose to go on the run, continuing to post to Instagram and release music. But this lasted about a month, and he eventually turned himself in July and was able to bond out. So for the rest of...
I wouldn't say he was on the run. That boy would post to his location happily. He was vibing. You feel what I'm saying? Doing shit like this, buying roses on scooters down. He wasn't on no run. He was walking. If you ask me, he ain't do no running.
2021, Glock 9 sat in jail, and Hot Boy continued to drop music and put Orlando on his back. Back in Jacksonville, the scene was still cracking, and more rappers were starting to pop out. In May, a rapper called K Shorty dropped his first song ever, Tired of Shooting, getting a decent amount of attention right out the gate. K Shorty was from the 6 Block neighborhood in North Jacksonville, the same hood as Fulio, and had been good friends with Bibby. Despite being from the same hood as Fulio, he had problems with him. Fulio, being Fulio, had taken his beef to the music and dissed him in an unreleased song that came out as a snippet, so K Shorty's first song was actually a response to Fulio. K Shorty had problems with Fulio, but they weren't really ops. But one of K Shorty's actual ops saw that he had started rapping and didn't like it. Shortly after K Shorty had posted his first ever video, Spin It Benz went on Instagram and posted an old embarrassing video of him doing a dance that made him look zesty. Then a couple
What the hell is you?
days later, he dropped an...
Oh no! I remember they was saying this what you do when you
K
kids.
Shorty had posted his...
Hell no, we ain't doing. Did he do the little thing with his shirt and then he tied and went? Oh boy, you out your body, literally tripping.
Off the ops, where they dissed multiple dead ATK members, and their song blew up as well, also hitting millions of views. And K Shorty, who had been rapping for less than 2 months, found himself with a bunch of new fans and buzz around his name. He continued to drop big songs throughout the summer. Then in September, everything came to a halt.
And his dumbass got locked up. I was confused by that. I'm talking about K Shorty was just doing his thing and surrounded himself around a situation, bro. Like, bro, you was just getting started, fam. That boy need milk. I'm talking about he need jail milk. Cause he must like it over there.
When he was booked for a body. Also in Jacksonville, but separated from everything going on between ATK and KTA, Nardo Wick was beginning to take off with songs like Slide and the original version of Who Wants Smoke. And he continued to drop throughout the year and get cosigns from all the big rappers like G Herbo, DaBaby, Lil Durk, and Future. In 2022, for most of Florida, things slowed down. Rod Wave remained the biggest rapper. Nardo Wick continued going up, dropping his Who Wants Smoke remix with Durk, 21, and Herbo, which took off, getting tens of millions of views on YouTube. Ace, Fulio, Spins, and WAP all saw their numbers drop because the beef in Jacksonville was getting old to the fans. And on top of this, a large portion of the rappers in the scene were sitting in jail. YNR Mookie was sentenced to 10 years. Queso's own father agreed to testify against him, and K Shorty remained locked up waiting on trial.
Look at his bald head ass, look. Oh my God. Let's see if I can get back.
Remain locked.
Boy, you dead ass. Shine the hell out your stupid head ass. Get that boy the biggest spit shine ever. You done tattletale on your son, boy. You out your damn mind. You out your rabbit ass mind. You lost it, brother.
Locked up waiting on trial.
I'm confused.
Cowboy continued rising, dropping big.
We seen enough, goddammit. We get it. A lot of rappers blew up and got their ass locked up. Lauren blew up, got a stupid ass locked up. You feel what I'm saying? Why? Why, fam? Screw me.
He already dead, it ain't no need to check his vitals pics. Yeah. He already